Okay, students, the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to work on a bursting footwork. So the theme of the class is to be ready for weapons defense, and since you may or may not have partners, we're going to prepare to train both ways, okay? So for a burst, you're going to stand in a natural stance and you're going to violently burst forward into a fighting stance. And I want you to step with your non-dominant foot. So if you're right-handed, step with your left foot. And that way your body is loaded up for power on your dominant side. So when I say burst, everybody's going to step out hard. Ready? Burst! And your hands would come up, right? And then return to a natural stance. If you have no space, just go back to the same starting space you were in. Ready? Burst! Good. And back. Burst! And back. Make sure you're violently in that stance. Burst! Good. And one more time. Ready? Burst! Good. If you feel like you need more practice, just rewind this portion of the video and do it some more.
And burst with us.
And burst with us. Okay, so the next drill we're going to do is we're going to introduce a 360 block. So this set of blocks, it's really a set of 7 blocks, and it's designed for you to protect yourself against outside attacks that are coming from the side, the top, or from. All right, ready? So flat roof, angled roof, walls, slanted walls, robot dance, and slanted in, and together across the bottom flat, okay? And then back up. And you notice when I'm gonna move around to the side because when they come forward, they don't bend back, they come forward. Because if an attack is coming from the bottom, you wanna get your stomach out of the way, but not by going backwards. When we do self-defense, we wanna come forward. Yep, just like Miss Brayla's doing right there. Good, well, we'll go from the beginning. Ready? So 1 is flat on top. 2, got the angled roof. 3, we got the walls. 4, we got the angled walls. 5, we got the robot dance. 6, we're angled upside down. And 7, we're flat, right? And then let it go. But now when we do these, this is just a way to learn them. When you do them, you are more than likely, hopefully, going to do separate hands. We're gonna block with one hand and strike with the other. So to start off with, we're gonna do block number 1. And at the same time, I would like your other hand to come to like a fence or fighting position, okay? All right, so then back to natural. And 1. Good, and back. 1, and back. 1, and back. Yeah, try your other hand. 1, and back. 1, and back. All right, so now we're going to shift from 1 to the angled roof. So Brayla, demonstrate what angle we're going to go at. So it's kind of like the high block that you're used to, right? From karate, it's real similar. It's a little more outside than you're used to. And make the fence. Ready? 2. Make sure it's a little angled out. 2. Good. So not quite our high block, a little more angled outside your body, in case it's a knife, right? 2. Good. 2. Try both hands. 2. Good. 2. 1. Just checking. And back. All right, so then the next block is going to be a lot like our knife hand block, but again, it's a little more outside, okay? Ready? 3. Good. And you're always having that other hand up. 3. Good. And then put both hands down. That lets you practice that reaction. 3. And down. 3. Good. And then we're going to tighten it in like somebody's trying to hit you in the ribs. 4. Good. 4. Again. 4. Good. One more time. 4. All right, now we're going into, actually, I'm just going to use these 4, and we're going to work towards a drill, okay? So let's for this next drill, we're going to do what's called upper body shoulder tag. So in this case, only Miss Brayla is doing shoulder tag, and Miss Riley is doing the first 4 of the 360 blocks, okay? So Miss Brayla can try, so parents at home or partners, whoever's helping you train, can try to touch you on top of your head. And see how Miss Brayla's doing a big attack, like she's trying to hit her with a stick or a bottle, right? And then she could also try touching the top of the shoulder or the side of the shoulder, but at the top, right? And then she could try touching the elbow, right? Or she could try to sneak under the elbow. And yes, that's exactly right. Miss Riley will do that block, okay? So they get to move around, and Miss Brayla gets to try just touching, okay? Now, Parents, I will warn you, if you swing hard, these blocks hurt. So you want this to be just a touching kind of drill, okay? Ready, and go. Okay, a couple of key points when we're going to do this shoulder tag drill. And that is, if the person doing the blocks gets overwhelmed, you can push your partner away. That's called the reset button. So if Miss Brayla overwhelms her partner, just do that gentle, but yes, double palm heel into the chest. That's a reset, lets her know she needs a restart on the attacks, okay? And break. So now, only if your students, so this would be for parents that are helping or for partners who are helping each other. So for example, Brayla's helping Miss Riley train. So if Brayla felt like Miss Riley was blocking these really well and it was super easy, then Miss Riley's next level would be to try to block and touch Miss Brayla on the top of her forehead with the palm of her hand. Not the hard palm, like with the fingers, okay? But you got to make sure that you're hitting with the fingers, not the fingernails, right? No eye poking. Yeah, so just a touch on top of the head. So demonstrate the touch part. Yeah, so you're just touching their head, okay? But you got to be able to do that while you block. So in order to have safety, and it's good that Miss Brayla has on eye protection, in order to have safety, Miss Brayla will start out really slow, and then it'll escalate as Riley gets confident. So try to touch her head at the same time you block. All right, go. Good. And also, Miss Brayla can be super exaggerated. Keep going. Which allows Riley to think, right? And then she can get less exaggerated as Riley gets better. And y'all can move around a little bit.
I don't want to move.
And Miss Brayla is wisely keeping her chin down so that if Miss Riley hits, she's hitting forehead.
I don't like getting hit over and over again.
Parents might not like that either. Now here's another drill that you can, if you have a practice at home kit, and by the way, if you don't, I'm telling you, couch pillows, if you have any that you're not worried about messing up. But anything soft, the pool noodle would work for this, although with a pool noodle sometimes you get a little carryover hit even when they block. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. With the practice at home kit, you can use the kick shield and hold it by the plastic handle. Show them where you're holding. Right? And then just hit them with the other end of the pad. All the strikes going the same way. Go. And you can be repetitive, or you can move down the body, or you can start out repetitive. If your student is missing, do the same one again to reinforce that angle. Good. And once they're good, you can switch. Good. If you are one of the people that bought a pair of these, you can really fake them out and hit both sides. Okay, the next partner drill would be if you're using your practice at home kit, you put one of the hand mitts on your right hand and then put the kicking shield on your left, and you're gonna point it facing out so that they can actually palm heel or punch that at the same time that they block the mitt. So show one kind of slow. And this is exactly how I would start. I would start slow. And then as your student is doing well, you can start to change it up. Want to be simultaneous. Hit them as they hit you. Good. Nice. Good. And then, of course, you can switch hands. All right, which we won't do on video, but you can just... So with our pool noodles, parents, we have one normal-sized pool noodle cut in half. All right? Now, for the hand that you're going to hit with, if you choke up on it a little bit, then when they block, the block works. If you don't choke up on it, then when they block, it just kind of hits them anyway, right? So then they don't get good feedback on whether or not they're blocking. So let's make sure that the hand that's going to strike is choked up. Now, I recommend for parent safety or partner safety that you only hit with one hand at a time. So hold one pool noodle as a target and one pool noodle to hit with. Because if you switch on them, yeah, the pool noodles don't absorb a lot of contact. All right, so it's the same drill we just did, but using pool noodles. Go. And move around a little bit. Make it more aggressive. Good. And of course, you would switch hands and do it with the other side. So there's a set of drills where you can practice 360 blocks.